Hello my friends, so welcome all of you, almost 113,000 star seeds, light workers, wanderers who have joined on this session. And today I have channeled the Pleiadians to answer very interesting questions, many of which were sent by our lovely viewers. Thank you for sending me on my email and also commenting down below your questions. I will choose from them. So the first question is about how to do semi-awake channeling. So if you have seen, there are many people who do channeling in a semi-awake state, which is much different than what I have been doing, which is in a trance state. So I asked, what is the procedure and how can we do it perfectly? So in this session, they have discussed the steps needed to do a semi-awake channeling, and if you want to try it yourself, you can do it. Also, I will try it myself in the upcoming sessions, and also I'll keep you updated. Furthermore, also about the second question is about if you have watched the recent UFO community, what is happening. There is something known as the Immaculate Constellation program, which was recently discovered. But people have no idea what this is really about. So I've asked the Pleiadians to answer what is about this program known as Immaculate Constellation has been revealed in this session, and the information is amazing. So also I've asked about whom do they endorse. So this was a question sent by a viewer. Whom do the Pleiadians endorse for the upcoming United States election, which we know it's about to happen on November, I think. Between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. So whom do they endorse has been answered in the session. It's amazing and mind-blowing as well. And also I've asked about the soul journey and the soul mission, as well as the past life of Kamala Harris. I've already channeled about the past lives of Donald Trump before. I will leave the link to that session in the description as well. So today we have channeled about that. Also, I want to say a big thank you to all of you with my heart who have joined my Patreon, because there is a meditation for stopping the looking glass event coming up in a few days on my Patreon. As well, I have released some amazing sessions which I cannot share on YouTube. I have around 590 plus extra channeling sessions which are different than that found in this YouTube channel. So if you want to dive deep into your spiritual journey, you may find the sessions in my Patreon useful as well. Also, a big thank you to all of you who like this with your heart, because thank you for your like. It helps to spread to other people who need this information to awaken spiritually. And with that being said, enjoy the session, my friends.
We are the Pleiadians now in communication through this instrument's inner vibratory system, and we the Pleiadians are now in communications through this instrument's inner heart at this timeline. Therefore, we shall now address and answer the various patterns of the queries that are presented today through this instrument's inner heart. However, we suggest the peoples of your planets to use inner discernment when listening to our thought forms and messages at this timeline. Firstly, about the query related with how does semi-awake channeling works and how to do it. We the Pleiadians must state that the aspect of channeling involves a complex interplay of consciousness where an individual entity, a channeler, allows their personal consciousness to step aside and to become a conduit for other entities. or higher wisdom to flow through. Furthermore, we must state that the aspects of the semi-awake channeling primarily works through the aspects of realizing that it is akin to a light meditative state where the channeler is aware of their surroundings and their own thought forms, yet open enough to receive external information. The key is to balance between staying conscious enough to articulate or record the information received, but passive enough to not interfere with the message with one's own thought forms or biases. Furthermore, we the Pleiadians shall share with you a simple step process to perfect semi-awake channeling. For those who desire to do so, firstly, there must be a purification of the self by engaging in practices that cleanse your energy body. This primarily can be done using love light exposed water, using process of meditation to silence the inner thought forms, and the aim is to raise the vibration to be more receptive to higher positive entities. A simple method would be to imagine the self being surrounded by a white protective light. Furthermore, after this process of purification, setting the intention to channel information from a particular collective must be done by realizing that such information will be used for the highest good and in service to other entities, and by aligning with the emphasis on unity, love, light, and service. Furthermore, spiritual protection must also be followed, such as calling upon your spiritual guides or guardian angels, which allows the space to be protected from any lower vibrational frequency. Also, the entities who desire to channel must be cautious of lower emotional states such as fear, greed, anger, jealousy, or any other lower vibratory state that enforces separation, and such entities must let go of such emotions and instead focus on love and service to others. Further, the best way to open to a channel in this semi-consciousness state is to then mentally, from the mind complex, or by using vibratory thought forms, invite the consciousness desired to be channeled, also allowing the self to let go and receive the information without judging, as this is primarily the most important aspect, which requires minimal interference from the conscious mind complex. Furthermore, after the information is released through the channel, then a gratitude must be given to the entity being channeled, and then the information can be decoded. Further, the session can then be closed. We, as the Pleiadians, must also state that within each session there is requirement of discernment. Further, now we shall answer the other query regarding what is the hidden secrets UFO program named in the vibratory sound complex as Immaculate Constellation. of your peoples, we the Pleiadians must firstly state that the attributes known as immaculate constellation is a classified initiative within the so-called United States government, which operates under the veil of secrecy, which we can sense has persisted for more than a decade. This program is part of a broader framework of the so-called unacknowledged special access programs of your peoples, which seek to investigate and reverse engineer unidentified aerial phenomena. Furthermore, many of these crafts are from entities from another density and from other extraterrestrial civilizations. The primary aim of this so-called program is to gather, analyze, and utilize technologies derived from unidentified aerial phenomena encounters. It seeks to understand these phenomena not merely as curiosities but as significant elements which can influence their trajectory of human advancement. Furthermore, we must also state that the program can encompass efforts to recover and analyze materials from these unidentified crafts, which are primarily referred to by your peoples as alien reproduction vehicles. We must state that there has been many instances of direct engagement with extraterrestrial intelligences. Furthermore, we must state that within the timeline of your planet, the concealment of such information primarily has been done in order to not create mass hysteria and to keep the secret knowledge obtained by such types of programs from the common people. Furthermore, we shall now also address the other query related with whom do we the Pleiadians endorse from the entities named as Kamala Harris or Donald Trump for the upcoming elections of your planets in the United States. We the Pleiadians firstly must state that within the aspects of our understanding, the concept of endorsements transcends the limitations of human political structures. We as the Pleiadians primarily are operating from the level of sixth density of unity, harmony, and collective evolution. Hence, it does not align with individual candidates based on their political affiliations or agendas. We the Pleiadians seek to promote unity amongst all entities. We encourage individual entities to rise above to a thinking of favoring one over another and instead focus on the greater good for humanity as a whole. Furthermore, our interest lies in the human social complex's readiness to embrace higher truths and understandings. We observe the actions and intentions of the peoples of your planets, but do not endorse them in a conventional sense, as understood by your peoples. Furthermore, with regards to the entities such as named as Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, we must state that it is essential to recognize that both entities represent facets of the human experience. The entity named as Kamala Harris primarily is also a human entity and it has its own biases at play. However, the entity Donald Trump also has the same types of biases, desires, and interests, and we encourage all entities of your planets to engage in discernment when considering endorsing any specific entity. We firstly state that it is important to embrace your role as divine beings in the awakening to higher levels of consciousness. Furthermore, with regards to the other query about the soul identity and soul journey of the entity named as Kamala Harris, who was incarnated on 1964, we the Pleiadians shall now state that the entity Kamala Harris is an starseed entity and an old soul who has taken this opportunity to incarnate at this timeline for the purpose of becoming able to learn the lessons of love and compassion. However, during its journey, it may encounter influences from negatively oriented entities and thereby distorting its choices, which many a times have occurred because of the desire to control over other entities. Furthermore, the entity Kamala Harris must also remember to learn to forgive other entities, since this is one of the aspects which it struggles with at this timeline. And its primary soul's purpose is to cleanse itself of anger, of pride, and of any other lower vibratory emotion, to master ascension into the new earth, fourth density consciousness. Furthermore, prior to this incarnation, the entity in one of the timelines was found in India around 1692, wherein it was named as Madhusudan, in the location of India currently known as Delhi. The entity found itself working as a farmer in the beginning stages of its life. During this incarnation, it had to learn a valuable lesson about desire. The entity had a plot of land which it had inherited from its parents. However, after the entity began to work on the land, it found that the land was unsuitable for cultivation. The entity, however, saw that its neighbor's land was more suitable, and hence the entity tricked its neighbor into exchanging the land. This caused a type of negative spiral of karmic energy, for the entity found itself in the hands of negative repercussions of karmic energy as the entity's cultivation worsened in the new land. However, the neighbor was able to cultivate even more from the lands exchanged. Furthermore, the entity learned about a valuable lesson of desire, and the entity crossed over at the age of 42 years in that timeline. Prior to that, it was found in the planet of Maldek, wherein it had spent its experiences from the first density up to the third density level of consciousness, learning about self-awareness, beingness, and awareness. Its primary origins were found 687 million years ago in the planet of Maldek, and was known by the sole name of Itar, which meant water in the language terms of the Maldekians. Hence we shall now leave you all in the love lights of the one Creator. Bye.
And also, my friends, let me tell you, in this session, as far as I understand, the Pleiadians, they have stated information about semi-awake channeling state. What they stated was that it is much like a meditative state, but your conscious mind is not completely off, right? So in a trance state, conscious mind is completely off. It's much like a dream state when I channel, but when people do semi-awake channeling, it is a little bit less deep. You can still be aware of your environment, and to channel you need to have the process of purification in place, which was described by the Pleiadians. And also you have to visualize white light surrounding yourself to create a positive shield. Also, the Pleiadians have stated about the second query about the immaculate constellation program. As far as I understood, they stated that there are something known as the ARVs, or alien reproduction vehicles, which they have captured, and they are trying to reverse engineer that. So they were doing this under the name of immaculate constellation program. So this is what they were doing. And also about the whom do they endorse for the upcoming United States election? The answer is they neither endorse Donald Trump nor they endorse Kamala Harris, because they endorse rather unity, right? That's what they said. And also about the past life of Kamala Harris, I think you learned a lot from the session. She was from Maldek, that's what I remember. And with that being said, if you also want to know about your own soul journey, soul identity, past lives, and any other questions you may have, just send me an email. The link will be on the email address will be on the screen as well as in the description. And also thank you to all of you for visiting my website, where you can search through my transcripts. Also, a big thank you for downloading the free PDF of my channel sessions, which you can download. The link is on the description. With that being said, I'll see you, my friends, in the next session. Until then, enjoy this session about the past life of Donald Trump. Thank you.